Had a productive virtual meeting today with the folks in Lordstown, Ohio. Now, Lordstown is right near Youngstown, Ohio, in the Mahoning Valley, and it's an area of our state that's been hit really hard because General Motors chose to pull out and leave the Chevy Cruze production facility there. Huge facility, a couple hundred acres, and they said that the 1,500 workers who were there on the last single shift they had could look elsewhere in the country, but they weren't going to provide any jobs for them there in the Youngstown area. So a lot of those folks have stayed and lost their jobs, and lost good jobs, high pay, good benefits. It was the largest single employer in the Mahoning Valley, so it was really a tough blow for Youngstown, and particularly for the little town of Lordstown. Anyway, the mayor was on the line, as well as a lot of business leaders, civic leaders, economic development folks, and we talked about moving forward, how we can continue to make progress. I've worked with the town to try to fill that plant, and we have so far brought in a company called Lordstown Motors, which is making electric pickup trucks. In fact, we had the electric pickup truck at the White House about 2 weeks ago, showing it to the press corps and the president and others, which was very positive for Lordstown Motors. This electric pickup already has a lot of orders because it's something that a lot of people are looking for, a green commercial pickup truck for municipalities, for utilities, and so on. So my hope is that they'll continue to grow. They've got a few hundred jobs now, soon to be adding more, and the hope is that they can replace not all the jobs at General Motors. That'll be tough, at least in the short term, but a lot of those jobs. General Motors disappointed everybody by pulling out. It was really a punch to the gut to the Lordstown community because they were the largest employer, but they have reinvested in the area as well. And I've been involved with that, and I've been encouraging that, and I'm glad to see that they, along with a company called LG Chem, are going to be making batteries right next to the Lordstown plant. This will hire, by the way, 1,100 or 1,200 people right away, and the hope is it'll even expand further in the next year or so. So this is not only great employment numbers, but also a great technology. This is the top of the line electric battery technology for cars and trucks and so on. And I'm really glad they chose Lordstown. And I know they had other choices, and based on a lot of conversations and a lot of help from a lot of folks locally in the state, and those of us in the delegation, they made the right decision. We also talked about some of the exciting things going on in the area in addition to the battery plant. There is a new facility, the TJX Distribution Center, which will hire at its peak hundreds of people, and this is good that that's happening right in Lordstown, helps the tax base. We also have 2 power plants being constructed, one already under construction, the other soon, which is natural gas-fired power plants, which is bringing employment and opportunity to the area as well. So we're beginning to turn the corner. The people of Lordstown are resilient, and the mayor and the economic development folks and the businesses there are determined, and I'm determined to continue to work with them to continue to make progress. We talked also a lot about COVID-19 and what's needed next. They are supportive of an additional PPP program. That's the Paycheck Protection Program. A lot of small and mid-sized businesses in the Mahoning Valley took advantage of that program. We want to extend it. I'm really frustrated that Congress can't seem to get its act together and just extend that program. Everybody's for it. There's no need to have a larger, super expensive package in order to do some very common sense things where there's total agreement. This is one. We talked about my legislation called the Healthy Workplaces Act, which does exactly what we should be doing, encourages people to go back to work, but to go back to work safely, because it provides a tax credit for companies that put in place things like plexiglass shields or PPE, personal protective gear, gloves and masks and so on, to be able to make the workplace more safe. They should be incentivized to do that, and that should help to get their economy back on, our economy in Youngstown and elsewhere, back on track. So it was a good discussion. We also talked about the need for us to do something on unemployment insurance, because there are people who've lost their job through no fault of their own, who continue to have a tough time making ends meet, and that puts more illiquidity into the economy. So a targeted, focused package on COVID-19 is needed, and it would help the Lordstown area based on the input I got today. My hope is that we can continue to make progress in Lordstown. I'm proud of the way the community has come together in the face of a huge problem when General Motors pulled out, and I'm proud of the fact that we will continue to work together to make more progress for Ohio and our great manufacturing base, including repurposing the Lordstown auto plant into an electric truck plant.